Hey, Padre, I'm only at 12%. Can we get this thing rolling here?
Enough of the pleasantries. Let's go.
Welcome to this episode of the Cool Dad Shirt Podcast.
I remember when I first got hired as a draftsman at GE, brand new. This is 1991, and we were still doing stuff on the board with drawings and stuff. And I remember somebody telling, one of the old timers said, "Hey, if you ever want to just go for a walk or take a little break," he goes, "roll a drawing up, put it under your arm, and just put a scowl on your face and walk quickly. And people will just leave you alone. Like you are on a mission to get something done. Leave me alone. I got to be somewhere." And he goes, that's how you roll. Confidence is everything.
Yeah, walk with a sense of urgency.
Exactly.
How long does it take once you wake up before you can see? I noticed that as I get older, it's usually, I feel as though it's around an hour or so before my eyes start working up to their capacity. Is that common as we get older? Is that just me? Are you going to tell me, Mike, I think it's time to see an ophthalmologist?
Well, no, quite the contrary. I think I haven't really thought about it. And now you've just planted something in my head. And now I'm going to obsess on it tomorrow morning. I'm like, he's right. My eyes are not working.
I hope not. But I get up in the morning and I know, and I don't wear any prescription glasses. I have some readers, but I feel as though it's probably around an hour before my eyes start adjusting and focusing.
I've not really noticed that. I'm usually out the door within 30 minutes. So I'm driving inside that time frame. So I'm going to say, I think I'm hanging in there. Okay.
All right. Don't obsess over it, but just let me know if you recommend me seeing some sort of eye care specialist.
So listeners, we now have a feature on all the podcast platforms, not on YouTube, but on all the other ones where you can click a link and you can send some feedback. You can send some fan mail, hate mail, or you can tell Mike he needs to go see somebody. Let us know.
If you have a referral of an ophthalmologist in the greater Long Island area.
We're going to crowdsource this one.
Please. I was going to save this, but I just want to let you know, I got a top 5 list that I want to share with you on today's call. So it might be too soon to work it in, but it's just a little teaser, before we go to commercial break. Coming up in this next 20 minutes.
We're going to put Rich on the spot.
We have a top 5 list.
We're going to ambush him together. Let's see how he does.
Participation is optional. I don't want you to feel any obligation. I got 5 tucked away. If you come up with any during the presentation of my list, please feel free to interject.
Okay. All right. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We talk sometimes about AI and what things are happening. And I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed either, of course, the speech to text on mobile phones now is pretty amazing. The iPhone specifically that we use, it was always interesting when it got the word wrong. It took a guess and the spelling was off, or it picked the wrong word. And that was humorous for a few years. But you can see now AI is starting to creep in and it's starting to guess a little bit more at what you think. And I don't know about you, but it's been a little awkward. It gets the tense wrong. Sometimes it throws a question mark at the end, and when it was definitely not a question, that drives me a little bit crazy. But I had sorry about that.
You okay, buddy? You all right?
Yeah, I think so.
You need some water?
So I got a coffee right here. So
Do you need to see a doctor?
maybe. Is this much coughing normal?
Mike, I don't know about your eyes, but my throat doesn't start working till about 2 hours once I wake up in the morning.
I'm just happy I can complete a sentence. Anyway, back on track. I noticed in some of the things I'm doing, in addition to kind of guessing of how I want to phrase things, I noticed whenever I refer to, of course, playing music and doing stuff like that, I often reference a drummer, our drummer, whatever. And I noticed it kept capitalizing the letter D in drummer. And so the conspiracy mind kicks in. I'm like, oh, this is somebody at Apple.
A drummer wrote the program.
That's right. A drummer wrote the program, and it wants to capitalize. So drummers finally get the respect that they're due with a capital letter D. And so my mind went there. It kind of ran away with that for a bit until later I realized what is actually happening. It's very aware of your contact list. And so if there's a name or something in there, it wants to grab that and stick that in there. So one of the contacts I have, it's a person's name with a drummer after it is like what they do. I think I put it in as their last name, but of course there's a capital D. So anytime I say the word drummer, I get the capital D drummer. So I'm here to tell you, it does not appear to be a conspiracy by the people at Apple.
Have you proven that outside of your own experience?
No.
I don't think I have any drummers in my contact list. I'm about to send you a text.
Okay.
Rich, a great drummer friend of mine.
Let's see. Anxiously awaiting the incoming text.
All right, let me know what you receive, Rich.
No capital D. So
no capital D, so it must.
Well, I think it looks, I think it looks at your own contact list. And so I have a capital D for a drummer in my, I try not to admit that I know many drummers. It's probably a good, you understand that.
3's more than anybody should know, really.
Yes.
I'm the only drummer I know in my contact list. It's funny. You mentioned the thing about context and spelling in your iPhone. I have a note here about something that I wanted to bring up about how frustrated I was. And here's an example. I wrote this one down. I can understand some of the assumptions and AI that's baked into some of the autocorrect, but I don't know how it comes up with some of the things that it does. I was typing a message the other day, and when I typed the word very, Very, it auto-corrected it to the word Mick Reynolds. So I typed in very, it changed it to Mick Reynolds. And to your point, I know no one with the last name Mick Reynolds, and it changed it to Mick Reynolds.
Okay, I'm back on the conspiracy thing. Mick Reynolds definitely works at Apple.
Hey, do you remember assemblies in high school?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't even matter what the assembly was.
Nope.
Knowing that 7th and 8th period were going to be tied up with an assembly, it didn't matter at all. You were so excited to miss class on any level.
Yep, you're going to go sit with your friends and not be in math.
Exactly. Did Freedom Jam ever come to your high school? Please tell me yes.
Oh man, I don't know if I recognize it by name, but I think I know what you're going for. I know we had those. It's a big musical thing, right? They're jumping around.
So Freedom Jam always came to our high school, and it was 2 periods of a pretty exciting rock concert by some very typical 80s hair band rockers, and they would play for a good 45, 50 minutes. And then the next day they would have a concert at night at your school. So you'd come back for like the 2-hour show with this band, Freedom Jam. And all they did was tour around. I don't know how many states, if it was throughout the US or if it was more of a regional thing, but they would come every year, play for a period and a half, and then do a show at night for 90 minutes, 2 hours. I don't know if they sold shirts, but they always had posters that the band would sign.
You're giving me great marketing ideas for my band. How come I haven't thought of this?
Posters?
No, touring. You got a captive audience.
High schools?
You're going to have 400 kids glued to what you're doing. Yeah.
So Freedom Jam, that was it.
Freedom Jam. I'm going to look that up after.
Maybe they played at your school.
Yeah.
They were fairly long-standing members, too. It wasn't a rotating list of members. I would recognize them year after year. The singer would be the same. The drummer had a big, giant yellow Slingerland drum kit.
I think the bass player is at Starbucks now. I
think he might be. I think he is. Check him out, though. Freedom Jam.
I will look that up after we're done.
My dad asked me to pick something up for him recently. He often does. If you're headed out to the store, can you pick me up? That's what he starts his sentence. If you could imagine anything that your dad might ask you to pick up, does anything come to mind? From the grocery store.
Oh, from the grocery store. Okay.
I'll narrow it down. It's not a Home Depot. It's not a specialty store. It is a grocery store. This was the item that he requested. Any ideas?
Well, I want to say something obvious like coffee or bagels or something,
Dig a little deeper. What may not be as obvious, but still available at some grocery stores?
Oh, no. I'm on the spot.
All right.
I got nothing.
I'll help you out. He said, the next time you go to the grocery store, can you do me a favor? Can you pick me up some MSG?
Dude, I would never have gotten to that.
I paused. I said, let me get this straight. You want me to pick up some MSG? I said, why do you think you need MSG? He said, it's been completely debunked. It's totally harmless. They proved it. No one knows what they're talking about. I said, but why would you even want MSG?
What is he doing with it? Yes.
He said, it adds a lot of flavor to cooking. I said, you could add some salt, some garlic powder. There's a lot of other options in the drawer. He said, no, I used to use it. I used to cook with it all the time when I was in the Coast Guard. He used to cook when he was in the Coast Guard.
Oh, okay.
I used to use it all the time when I cooked in the Coast Guard. I said, Dad, I think we've moved past the MSG here. Even many takeout restaurants advertise that they don't use it. If you really think this is important. He said, just do me a favor. If you go to the store and see some MSG, pick it up from me.
Now you're a party to it.
So this has been on the top of his list for the last 2 weeks. And I feel as though I'm going to have to just cave and buy it. This highly desired little bottle of heavenly magic called MSG.
Monosodium glutamate, yes. Well, I also think it was good for use in bulk, right? I mean, that's why restaurants use it. That's why the Coast Guard used it. You got a lot of flavor from a little bottle. But nowadays, it's easy to, salt, pepper, garlic, onion. It's way better. And
it's great how we advertised it as totally harmless, completely debunked.
Hey, the internet says it's totally fine.
What's that show where those guys prove or disprove? Yeah, Mythbusters, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to...
Did he catch the show on MSG?
I'm going to have to see if they did an episode on MSG.
Well, they always film, to bust the myth, they always film it. How would you... We gave the following 7 people 17 pounds of MSG, and we're going to see how they perform tomorrow.
My daughter Mia went on a walk the other day, and I have to pause and think this through because it's important that I tell the story correctly. And if she or my older daughter were here, I would invite them down to tell the story. So it starts off that my younger daughter decides she's going to go for a run. So she heads out. A little bit later, we get a phone call from her. And she says, "Oh, Dad, I found such a cute kitten. He's orange and he's got the prettiest little green eyes. And he's, I think, 1.5 miles from home. And he has tags." I said, "Okay, so send me a picture of the tag and we can call the owner and see if they want to meet us there. We won't let you stay there by yourself. We'll come and meet you and then we'll call them and see if they want to come and get it." She said, "Oh, that would be great. He's so cute and so fluffy. And he's just sitting at my feet purring." I said, "Okay, send me a picture of the tag." And she sends a picture of the tag. And we noticed that the address is the side street next to our house.
Okay.
Literally, our house is on that side street, just a few houses down.
Okay.
And we say, well, Mia, where are you? And my older daughter looks and she finds Mia on the satellite, and Mia's right around the corner from her house. And we say, "Mia, what street is that?" And she says the street. And then we say, "Mia, you're on that street." And we see the house number on the tag is 15. And we said, "Wait, Mia, what house are you in front of?" And she goes, "Oh, 15. I said, "Mia, put the cat down and keep walking." She was literally in front of the cat owner's house, holding the cat, wanting us to call to have them pick up. She had no idea. I said, "Put the cat down, Mia, and come on back home. It's their cat." She goes, oh, yeah, 15.
As inconspicuously as you can, gently walk away from the house because the cops might be on the way. I'm just saying.
The neighbors are quite possibly looking out their window, about to call the police and tell them that someone is in the process of stealing our beloved pet Whiskers. Oh, the cat's name, it had a cute name too. It was Poppy. The cat's name was Poppy.
Poppy
the cat. Pappy, the pretty purring orange kitten with beautiful green eyes.
So you're telling me you picked up my cat, drove it back to your house, and then called me. To which I looked across the street and came and got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The house is feet from our house. It's not even measured in miles, half miles. And this is, my daughter is a pretty smart kid too. And she didn't connect any of these pieces.
These things happen. Well, it gets in your head, right? Look, hey, this is a life lesson. You have this preconceived notion. She just assumed a cat walking around was lost, and so that your brain starts going down that road. It didn't occur to her that, no, Mia, you are the problem. You're in my yard.
Happily, I could say I've raised 2 beautiful pet lovers.
Yes. I never know if I should just jump in when.
Of course
when
you
you're reading.
should. Of course you
I
should.
don't want to derail your
Oh, not
train
at
of
all.
thought.
That's the idea of this, to jump in.
So there's a campaign up here. It's got to be nationwide because they say it's a national organization. So I don't know if you hear these commercials on the radio from time to time. It's the National Association of Realtors.
Yes.
But my entire life, I've always called these people realtors with 3 syllables. And I stopped to think about it. I'm like, I think everybody I know, it's just like, oh, you're hiring a realtor to go do this. But in the commercial, they are absolutely positively going way over the top to correct the way everybody says this word. It's the National Association of Realtors. Only a realtor can help you sell your house. Don't go with anybody. You need a realtor that's been... I'm like, they are trying very hard to correct the way everybody says this word. I don't know if you've noticed this. If you catch the commercial, I think they're on a campaign to fix all of us.
I didn't know they were so sensitive about the pronunciation of their trade.
It's so obvious. I think they're a little sensitive to it. Yeah. I think they've had enough, Mike. I think they've had enough.
It stops here, Rich. It stops here.
It stops.
This is the realtor movement.
That's right. Keep an ear out for it.
Do you think famous people have junk drawers in their kitchen?
Oh, yes. That's a component of humanity.
It's very universal, isn't it?
I think it is.
Have you ever witnessed other people's junk drawers?
It's terrifying.
It's amazing. My brother-in-law's got a killer junk drawer. The most random items you'd ever imagine. And it's a sizable one. Now, it's not a little narrow one. It's a good 18-inch wide drawer filled with all sorts of amazing pieces of history.
Of history. It's a
talk about a time capsule. Yes, talk about a time capsule.
Yeah, that's a great idea for a show. Remember MTV had cribs, you get to see people's house. Wouldn't that be a funny show just to go like, what's in your junk drawer?
What's in your junk drawer? We're going to have to add that to one of the questions we ask some of our guests.
Yeah, let us know.
Or take a picture.
Yes, even better.
Rich, what's our email address? Please send us your junk drawer photo and we will share them.
Okay, I'd have to go look up the email address. We'll edit this in later.
We'll drop it in. I'll take a photo of mine. I'll snap a photo of my brother-in-law's too, just to maybe put something funny up.
Yeah, and we could just cycle through a couple
3 or 4 junk drawers I think would be funny. We could even say, a couple listeners sent them in,
Yes.
Here's some photos from some of our listeners, and people might think, oh, wow, well, geez, they must have some fan base.
I can see your name in there. It's definitely you guys. Jeez.
Wait, Mike, those are your hairy knuckles.
It says Rich Crystal right on that piece of tape.
Property of GE.
There's a stolen stapler in there. Corporate letterhead.
Exactly. From the desk of Rich Crystal. Wait a second. These guys are full of baloney.
Cool Dad Shirt Podcast. There's some righteous dudes.
How's the rim coming on that hat? I see a bit of an arc now.
Oh, no, this is a
different
hat. No, I'm back to, I'm not pulling off the flat one.
No more? You gave up, or you've
shelved
that one?
I think I got to. I think I got to try some out and see what the best look is.
Okay. When you go out to eat, do you ever worry about disappointing the waitress or waiter, or have you ever felt like they gave off the impression or some vibes that they're disappointed with your order?
Like
if you go out for a dinner and you're not ordering expensive cocktails, they're disappointed because now you're not running up a higher bill. Therefore, their tip as a percentage of the bill will be lower.
I'm just going to have some tap water and some more of your delicious free bread, please.
We'll share an appetizer, 2 plates.
2 plates.
The looks you get are not favorable. They're not pleasant looks.
No. They are not fans of that kind of customer.
I've experienced that from time to time, and it doesn't seem as uncommon.
Well, I mean, people are trying to work and make some tips.
True. But I don't always want to spend $28 on a cocktail,
That's yes.
So I'm sorry.
2 drinks and appetizers should not cost $65. Yes.
I'm on a bit of a budget here. I'm checking off a lot of items on my list, Rich. Maybe it's time that I get to the top 5 list.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So after we talk today, on my list of chores is mowing the lawn. So today's top list are 5 things that I hate about mowing the lawn.
Okay,
5
great.
things I hate about mowing the lawn. Number 5, when you go out to prepare to mow the lawn, you discover there's absolutely no gas in the gas can.
Yep.
Number 4, after you finished mowing the entire lawn, your neighbor yells out from his driveway, "Hey, you missed a spot." The third thing that I hate about mowing the lawn, when you go to fill up the lawnmower with gas, you accidentally drop the cap and it rolls across the driveway under the center of the car.
The absolute unattainable place you actually have to move a vehicle or get a broom.
Number 2, when your lawn is higher and lower in some areas and you keep mowing over the same spot because you can't see the line.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
And the number 1 thing I hate about mowing the lawn is being chased by hornets.
Oh, yes. I do have to say, that is one of the funniest things to witness. I have seen my neighbor Nick get attacked by yellow jackets.
Talk about not staying in the line.
Yeah. Runaway mower.
Yeah. Those are my top 5 things I hate about mowing the lawn.
No, I love it.
Anything jump out at you?
No, along the same lines when your neighbor says, "Oh, when you're done, you want to do mine?"
Yeah.
But good stuff. No, the same thing. I've done that where if the grass is just lying a certain direction and you can't tell it, and you've mowed over it several times, you're like, what's going on here? Then, of course, you actually do miss a patch someplace else.
I get so mad at myself. I get so frustrated. And then I'll do it 2 more times because I still can't see it. My wife, I love her to pieces. In the morning before I start working, on the days that I'm home, I come downstairs, I fire up all my stuff, usually much earlier than my actual start time is, but I always start early. And my wife doesn't drink coffee. She drinks tea. And I'm always happy to make it, but tea takes so long to make. Coffee is so quick and simple unless you're brewing a large pot. You can have a cup of coffee inside of 60 seconds. You'd be
Sure.
taking your first sip, right?
Yes.
We'll get back to your green tea. Don't worry. That's good. That's a good reminder. It's been several weeks. I want to find out what your status is on the green tea and your antioxidants.
Yes.
Please give us an update.
So, yeah, as you get older, trying to live a little healthier. And I don't know that anybody has it all figured out, but I think everybody agrees that, tea just has just amazing properties to it to help it embellish your healthy living. So I embarked on trying to make myself like green tea. Spoiler alert, I do not. But I've gotten to the point where I can tolerate it. I found a brand that I like, and it's not too bad. And I've decided the one way I'm going to sell, I think I mentioned this in the previous episode, there were these British guys I used to work with when I lived out in Detroit. And they always had tea time. I can't remember. I don't know. It was like 2 or 2:15. It was almost religious with these guys. And I always liked it. I never drank the tea, but I would hang out with Mick and Dell. That was their names, and just kind of take a little mid-afternoon break. So in my head, I've decided I'm going to have my own tea time. So after lunch, about 1:30, I make myself some tea at work. So it's becoming a thing. I'm tolerating it. I'm getting healthier by the day, Mike.
So every day at 1:30, you have a little cup of tea?
Right around there. Unless I have a meeting, it might kick out to 2 or something. But yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I do not go through the ritual, by the way. So I have.
You just slap a bag in it, pour some hot water over it, and get on with your day.
That's exactly right. Actually, I got the little satchel. It doesn't even have the string on it. I just fire it in the cup, put hot water on it, and wait a few minutes.
So you don't have to steep, is what you're saying? You have to steep.
Well,
right?
I mean, the bag just stays. I guess it just steeps sitting in there. I do a quick little stir.
You leave the bag in while you drink the tea?
I just leave it in. Yeah, as I
okay.
drink the whole thing. And
that's disputed by some people.
yeah, I'm not just some people though, Mike.
Well, you're right.
I'm a very lazy tea drinker.
You are.
I don't even like tea.
You think I don't even like it. You think I'm going to bother to spend the effort to take the bag out?
Exactly.
Some people will argue it gets bitter after 4 or 5 minutes. Some people also claim that there's a lead in the tea. So the longer that sits in there, more of those harmful minerals will get transferred to your tea.
I'm not sure it can taste worse than it does. So I'm not too worried about it somehow tasting worse.
Speaking of food, you know what I always associate you with. I don't know why.
Oh no.
And this is not, I think this might be a compliment. Do you know Dave's Killer Bread?
Yes.
It sounds like this is sounding very much like a lot of endorsements today, but every time I see a Dave's Killer Bread commercial and he goes on the guitar, I think to myself, I know Rich uses that bread because it's good for you. It's not filled with a ton of bad things. And the guy's a guitar player. I'm like, this is the bread for Rich. And they probably sell it at that super bougie high-end grocery store you go to.
You are right about all of those things. Dude, you nailed it.
Yeah, I picture you, Sunday morning, a little Dave's bread toasted with some avocado spread on it. And a really nice, delicious dark roast pour over.
Wow. You know me so well.
If we get in touch with Dave's Killer Bread, I wonder if he has also seen Freedom Jam in high school.
As a guitar player, he probably loved it. He's going to be like, guys, that's how I got started.
I got the poster. One last thing. I don't know if you saw the Rick Beato.
I haven't watched the one with Michael McDonald yet, but I saw a little clip. Michael McDonald was talking about, he was watching SCTV one night. He was like totally stoned. And they showed the clip. It's hysterical. He does one backup line in the song. Is it Chris Christopherson? It just shows a recording studio. Rick Moranis comes in kind of dressed like Michael McDonald. He comes in, he like whips his hat off and walks right up to the microphone. And he just goes, such a long way to go.
Such a long way to
go. Yes.
Yeah. Christopher Cross. Ride like the wind.
That's it.
So I got such a long way to go.
Such a long way to go. And so they capture it perfectly where the song is playing. He walks through the door, whips his hat off, steps to the mic, nails the line, and just walks out the door. It's so funny.
He could have actually done one simpler. He could have come in, threw his hat down, and said, "Pack!" from Steely Dan, because that's all he does in that one.
That's right. God, that was funny stuff.
Michael McDonald, that dude is awesome. Richie Castellano from Blue Oyster Cult, he has a little short out on YouTube, I'll send it to you, where he does Michael McDonald, and he's at McDonald's doing a Michael McDonald song dressed as Michael McDonald. It's very well done. I'll send that over to you. You can check it out. All right, dude.
All right, man. I got to go mow the lawn myself. All right, thanks, man. I'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye.